database setup and table setup. For the database and table setup, we will be creating a database along with the tutorial, along with the customer, product, and orders table. Additionally, we will create a tournament participants and a table for the soccer participants. The customer table includes customer ID, first name, last name, and email. The product table contains product ID as an integer primary key, name as a variable character, unit price as a float, and category name as a variable character. The orders table links the customer and the product table containing order ID, customer ID, item order count, which is the number of items orders, and order date. The tournament participants table includes participant ID, participant name, parent ID, if the participant has a parent, and is player, including whether the participant is a player or not. So let's go ahead and understand more about creating the customer table. As mentioned, the customer table contains customer ID, first name, last name, and email. Here, the serial key in Postgres is used for auto-increment value, and primary key indicates that the customer ID is the primary key. The first name is not null, and the last name is not null, whereas email can be null. Now let's move ahead and create the product table. For product table, this will be the SQL code for the product table. So we start with product ID as auto increment primary key. Name will be varchar not null. Primary unit price will be float not null. Category name as varchar, which can be null. And description will have a text. Description basically describes the category information. So order tables has order ID as serial primary key. So order ID will be the primary key for this table. Customer ID links the customer table to this orders table with a foreign key. So and we set on delete set to null. So whenever there is a delete of customer ID in the primary table, in the customer table, this value will be set to null. Product ID has a reference on product table, and this is also set to null on delete. So item order count represents an integer value. By default, it would be 1. Order date represents a date field. Tournament participant table contains participant ID as a serial primary key, participant name as varchar not null, and parent ID as an integer, which is basically a self-reference to this table, participant ID. And is player is a boolean representing whether the participant is a player or parent. If it is player, then it will be true. If else it is a parent or someone else, it will be false. So now let's move ahead in inserting the data into the customer table. So for customer table, we'll have around 15 rows. So this will be the data we will start with. So we'll start with insert into customer and values, and with the list of values that we are going to insert. Likewise, inserting data into products table, we will insert like 10 rows in product tables, which represents their values. Inserting the data into orders table, we will have around 16 items in the orders table, and this is how we will give them their values. Don't worry, all these values will be presented in our setup guide, and we will just have to get that data and create our environment, and we don't have to manually type. So likewise, in the tournament participant tables, we will have 21 rows of data representing tournament participant. The first will be obviously the ID, participant name, and the parent ID, and is player or not. So let's move ahead and create these tables on our Postgres database. Let's open up our Postgres database. So go to your the database that you created previously in DemoDB. In there, go to tables, and then right click on the tables to open up query tools. Once you are here in the query tools, we can use the query to create our tables. So for this table, since our focus is not on creating the tables, we will go ahead to our project GitHub account, and then you will be directed to this Advanced SQL tutorial over here. Then from here, you go ahead and go to data_Postgres. And here we have all the table creation and data insertion code over here. Just copy all this. Copy, and then we'll go back to our Postgres database and then paste it here. Right click. Oh, let me copy that again. Copy, and we'll do paste. So now that we have a table, as mentioned, we are creating a customer table, product table, orders table, and then we are inserting values into customer and then product and then orders table, and then we will create tournament participant table and then insert the value into tournament participant. So go ahead and click on this play button, execute script, or you can also play F5. So click on this button. Okay, so this one is throwing an error on line number 1, a syntax error, tournament participant. Okay, let's go ahead and check. There is a error in this one. So we will go to line number 4 state. Okay. We'll search by this value, John Miller. Okay. Probably let's select all the values and then run again. Okay. Select all the values and run. Okay. Then it ran successfully. So hopefully that was a minor issue for not selecting that value. Okay. So now that we have all the data, so we can go ahead and check I'll comment this out and check if we have all the data in our table or not. So go ahead and type in CLSC select all from CUSTEMER customer. We have to match our customer table over here. So customer, and then we'll see if you have a larger data set. So you will put something like limit or select top, something like that. So limit 5 or limit something like that. But since we have a small data set, we'll just do select all from customer and go ahead and run this. And sure enough, we have our data in customer ID, first name, last name, and email. Likewise, we can check the products table. Also, we can go ahead and in the table section, we can see that we have customer table, order table, and product table, and tournament participant table, as we can see. So we can also check the data in our ORD orders table. And go ahead. If you want to just run this SQL query, you select this and then you hit run. If you have multiple queries, likewise, we have the data in the orders table as well. And sure enough, for all the participants and the tournaments, there will be our data as well. So let's go ahead and check PRODUCT product. Sure enough, we have the data. And last one, TOURNA and participants. Sure enough, we have the data for tournament participant as well. So this one is for the setting up the data in our Postgres database. And now we'll move on to our actual tutorials